Josh and Frankie. What a couple of dumb shits. Hello, primates! You found Primus Tracks. Congratulations! There are so many places to find Primus Tracks. The podcast is a great start. If you would like a digital extension of these voices coming at you, we are at Primus Tracks on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and if you want to interact with these voices, you can email primustrackspod@gmail.com. I am Josh. I am one of the hosts of Primus Tracks. He is coming to you from the 39th floor of Primus Tracks Towers. It's Frankie.
Hey, Josh.
Welcome back, Frankie.
Do you remember when years ago when we had Skerik on the show and you said, "Hello, welcome to Primus Tracks," and then Skerik yelled?
Should I clip that and bring it back?
Yeah, we should sample that now for every opening.
Skerik is with us in screaming spirit.
Yes,
we should do that. Maybe even we can remix today's track, Pretty Little Song, and have Skerik screaming in the background. It would fit.
Yes.
Based on what we have listened to for today's song. Today we are indeed talking about Pretty Little Song. It's track 10 from your Of Fungi and Foe record. But as we do from time to time, we must preface with miscellaneous debris.
4 new slicks will be available coming November 22nd at 10 a.m. PT. If you're interested in grabbing one of these 4 exemplars, make sure, Josh, that you have $8,700 ready in your bank account.
$8,700. Well, I'll tell you what, that is a screaming deal for one of those sleek pachyderm bases. When I was playing sports in college, my number was 87, so I feel an intimate connection.
It's a sign.
Yes, it's a sign. I have to empty my retirement account to buy one of these hunks of furniture.
We have shared all the features, the fun facts, and the information that you need to know about the upcoming slicks on the Primus Tracks Facebook. So swing by, read the information, and share your comments. Thank you very much.
Those sleek bases are indeed slick.
Yes, and as the website specifies, not 2 exemplars are the same.
Oh, that's true, because they're handmade, so they're going to have
handmade works of art. Yes,
subtle differences that do not affect playability.
Yes,
because they are handmade expertly.
Yes,
Good
I
stuff.
don't. Another piece of debris. I don't know if you noticed this, but Herb's Tama Star Classic Chocolate drum kit is up for sale as well.
That's up on Reverb.
It's up on Reverb. Still available. However, there's a notification that it's lying in someone's shopping cart. So you better make up your mind.
Perhaps that's a feint to get somebody else to buy it. It could, manipulating the market. Like, somebody wants it.
Oh, like eBay, right? When they say someone is watching.
That's right. Yeah, 3 other people are watching this item. Great. Sounds good. I'm watching a lot of items.
Yeah.
I love the pressure tactics that they put on you. And if you are curious about that one, we will tell you it's just the drums, the chocolate finished drums. No cymbals, no hardware, just the drums.
No Herb either.
No Herb doesn't come in the box with it. Yeah. I tell you, for that price point, I think he should.
He might as well deliver it himself, right?
He's got experience.
Yeah.
Josh dropping in here to tell you can also find the Tribute to Kings drum set on eBay that Tim has put up for auction, and all proceeds benefit a Bay Area nonprofit.
That reminds me, a few years ago when I was doing research about some of the most expensive box sets ever sold. Number 1 on the list, of course, was the Residence fridge.
Oh, of course, yes. The $1 million fridge or something?
The $1 million fridge. And another interesting entry on the list was a Gene Simmons Strongbox, which was really huge, really heavy, and really expensive. But if you had the necessary funds to purchase that, it did include Gene Simmons because he delivered at your home, free of charge, of course. And not only did he deliver it, but he sat down with you to unbox it and gaze at the contents.
That's pretty rad.
I think that is really amazing. Yeah.
I love that idea. Was Gene in his Kiss makeup?
I don't recall, but no, no, you know what? No, I don't think so. I think he was wearing his civilian outfit.
That's a decent compromise. I'd be all
Yeah.
right with Gene in his street clothes hanging at my house while I open a box of all kinds of Kiss stuff. That's great. I like that idea. So maybe a suggestion for Tim Alexander: hop in the truck and personally deliver the goods and help him set it up.
Yeah, please. You know what I did notice about the pictures of this chocolate drum kit? It comes with the octobands that were used for I think the Chocolate
Yes.
Factory performance, but it's really magical how everything looks so professional and cool from the audience perspective. But once you get up close, you realize how DIY some of these things are because yeah, the candy spirals on the toms, I mean, those were hand drawn.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a great detail. Right. I forgot
Yes.
about the candy spiral. So those are one of one heads. So yeah, don't break them. Play very lightly on the octobahn. Very cool. It is
So
great that Herb's throwing that kind of stuff out there for
yes,
consideration.
but I mean, the pork pie kit is at a museum in Phoenix. Now
Hmm.
he's letting go of the chocolate kit, and if I'm not mistaken, he also sold the hallucinogenetics Tama white kit, right? Several years back.
I can't remember if he had that in a barn somewhere in pieces or if he ended up selling that one. Soya would
I
know. We'll ask.
Yeah, I have a vague memory of that being sold. So it
Yeah,
seems like he's really cutting back on the drum kits.
they take up a lot of space.
Yes, he might be at a point where he's he's going to settle with one drum kit,
That's
right?
I think so. Yeah, he's got his drum room set up for his online learning and teaching, and that's probably all he needs
Yeah.
for sure. All right, let's talk about Pretty Little Song, Frankie. It is track 10 on a Fungi and Foe, checks in at 4 minutes and 8 seconds. Credits are as follows: Les Claypool, or Clay Tool.
Play tool.
Frankie's a Clay Tool man. Percussion, bass, plenty of envelope filter. I'll say that up front.
Delish.
And vocals. We also have Bryonn Bain on an additional vocal and additional lyric, and that lyric you hear looped throughout the tune: "All that death can do is set you free." Sam Bass also appears on cello. Bryonn Bain, we should talk about quickly, Frankie. He co-stars with Les in Pig Hunt, although I don't think they're ever on screen at the same time. Bain is an actor, poet. He's a slam poetry performer. I watched a few of his videos, and he is powerful. He's an activist, and I believe at this time he's a Harvard Law graduate, and I believe at this time he's on the faculty at UCLA, and he founded a prison education program. So he is doing all kinds of great stuff out in the world.
What is a slam poetry?
Slam poetry is a form of poetry that's performed, and it is often performed in a theatrical way to deliver the message or really hammer home the message that the words are conveying. So you would often see, when I was in college, actually, there are slam poetry nights, and I would go attend. On a college campus, it's hit or miss, but there were some really powerful pieces of people going up to a microphone and reciting something they'd written in a really powerful way. So that's why it's called slam. And the best part is, at a more traditional poetry reading, it's fairly quiet. There's polite applause after the reading has completed. But with slam, the audience is encouraged to shout their support and indicate when they hear something that's moving. So it's a bit more interactive too. High energy stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, Slam had a moment, I think, in the mid-aughts. There was, I believe, Def Poetry Jam was on Showtime or something. I can't remember what it was on. And it was something that I couldn't find it, but I was able to see clips from time to time. I integrated it into my teaching for a while when I was working with primarily high-risk, at-risk kids. And it was pretty engaging for them.
You were slamming in the classroom.
We were slamming, absolutely. We had our own slam in our classroom one day. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah, kids got some stuff out, and that's
So the correct lyric is all death can do is set you free. See, that's the thing about ad-lib lyrics. I never get them right.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, and this one, of course, it's slowed down and in a lower register, so maybe it's difficult to parse out. But that's what I hear is all that death can do is set you free.
All right. You know how there are four characters on the front cover of the album?
Yes, those of us watching on video can see the four characters right over my shoulder.
Yes. Um, for me at least, for some reason, every time I hear Pretty Little Song, I feel like that song belongs to the guy with the mustache and the spider on his head.
So the guy in the upper left quadrant.
Yes, it's just very evocative of him.
All right, so he is the Pretty Little Song emblem.
Yes.
Interesting. What do you think that connection is? That's very, and I would never have considered pairing each of these tracks with one of the guys on the cover. But so what attaches him to Pretty Little Song in your mind, do you think?
Um, I guess it could be a combination of the strings on this song, which are really fantastic, and the imagery that his portrait and the music convey. When I see the spider on his head and I listen to the cello on the song, it instantly puts my mind in things like Tim Burton, Beetlejuice, that kind of world.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see it going in that direction then. Absolutely. Interesting idea. Now we have to retroactively assign each figure on the cover
Yes.
to a track. Damn it. You you had a compelling idea on the 10th of 12 tracks. I wish we have to do pre-planning next time. So we must also tell our listeners, Frankie, that there is a heavy dose of irony to the track title, Pretty Little Song.
Absolutely. Now,
It starts with terrified screaming and wailing, for crying out loud, and this little bass strum that is ping-ponging across the stereo spectrum, so you are immediately disoriented and wondering what in the world is going on. So there's
is it
yeah.
is it the Carl Thompson?
2009? Yeah, I would think so.
Hmm.
I think he's just strumming on that regular 4
Yes,
for
that's
this
what
one.
it sounds like. But I love the effect on the bass for this track. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, there's a couple different effects going on depending on the bass track you're talking about. So there's that one that repeats and loops pretty much all the way through is just some strumming that ping pongs back and forth.
Yes.
And then there's the, as you would term it, envelope filter delight on another bass track on this song. So you are just, the word I used to describe it in my notes is swampy. This is a swampy track, and
I would agree completely.
and you, like a pig rolling in it, you must be happier than anybody else about it.
Yes. Can you sample a little bit of the song?
I would be delighted. I think I even had a time code that I wanted to get to. Oh, I was going to get to the cello, but let's hear how Les drops us into this one.
And all the death can do is set you free. And all the death can do is set you free.
Wailing, gnashing of teeth, percussion that sounds like torture devices.
And all the death can do is set you free. And all the death can do is set you free.
So you loved the envelope filter, Frankie, but it's being paired
Yes.
with people who sound like they're suffering greatly. So do you connect those at all?
Yes, and it makes it even more delightful.
Okay, so when you're at the show and the envelope filter turns on and I start screaming and falling to my knees, holding my ears, I'm of course exaggerating, the envelope filter's fine, but you take delight in the fact that others are suffering as a result of the envelope filter.
Yes.
It's kind of psychotic, man. Now, I think for something as innocuous as the envelope filter, you're allowed it. That's pretty funny, though.
Storms are moving through your kidneys. Sing a little song.
This is fairly typical of what you're going to get over the 4 minutes. It's very swampy. We get the little sing-song
with some
lyric.
some variation here and there.
A little bit, absolutely, especially on the envelope filter track, I believe, that he's laying down. That strummy loop, I think, is pretty much the same throughout, and then that vocal delivery is actually fairly clean.
Yes.
And he's saying, sing a pretty little song. When you're then there's the irony. When you're in the soup, you can get through it. Sing a pretty little song. So and it's like we are wading through this swampy marsh, trying to get to the other side.
But I also love the contrast of the kind of imminent disaster that he mentions during the song, because you have something as innocuous as being accused of not flossing daily.
Yes.
So some really awful health conditions are mentioned as well.
Yeah, having kidney stones, gallstones, and like that's a lot more severe than having halitosis from not regularly flossing. But he says something as simple as that: tell them they're wrong, and sing your little song. That's great. But yeah, he goes from I think he structures the lyrics in a sense that it's the worst of it's at the beginning, imminent disaster, questioning your own abilities, and then kidney stones, and then having bad breath, or not flossing daily.
Please remind me, is this a Fungi or a Foe track?
Pretty Little Song is a faux track. This is straight out of the Pig Hunt film. It appears a few times for a short period throughout the film. Generally near the end of the film, when we are at the cult compound and the pig, the titular pig, is revealed. And it's a very disorienting environment for the people who are about to be subjected to the pig. So it's a pretty good use of this track in the film, because it's a very weird part. Bryonn Bain, who's on this track as the cult leader, is leading this part of the film. So there's a lot connecting this to that part of the film for sure. So yeah, we have ourselves our final Foe track. This is the third of 3 tunes that we know of that are on Pig Hunt, as well as a Fungi and Foe. I mentioned it last episode. I still have not gone back to look for Goblins in the Forest, because I do believe that Pretty Little Song is Male Organ Grinder, as credited on Pig Hunt. So just to restack that, what you looking at, boy? Oh, sorry, I should probably say that right. What are you looking at, boy? Is primed by 29, and Boonville Stomp is in Pig Hunt, also Boonville Stomp, so that was an easy one. And Male Organ Grinder, I believe to be Pretty Little Song. Goblins in the Forest, I don't remember hearing it at all in the film, like a fourth separate track. It could very well be something that appears on this record.
Hopefully.
If you want to brave 100 minutes of Pig Hunt, as I did, please do and tell me where Goblins in the Forest appears. I have a pretty good idea, as far as a range of time in the film. I just need to go back and scrub through and find it. Will that happen? I do not know.
Can we hear, can you sample a little bit of the cello?
I would be very happy to do that. That is an addition to the tune that I think is...
It really takes it to the next level.
It's very helpful, because it comes in a little over halfway through the tune. So at the 2-minute mark, we've gotten what we're going to get, but the cello does appear and takes us places. And, of course, that vocal delivery. Pretty little song. So some fun with the cello there. And there's a bit more cello, and then there's a crescendo, and then we're out. So this is one of those tunes, Frankie, where we're just stuck in the swamp. We're in this morass. It stings the eyes, it pelts the skin, but we can still have our little acts of defiance, maybe singing that pretty little, closing our eyes and singing that pretty little song as we march through. And that's what I appreciate about the percussion. It's resonant. It's got some reverb to it. It sounds big, and it has that plodding element to it, as if we are on a slow march through some crap to get to the other side. Whether it's itching in the crotch, or passing a kidney stone, or not flossing your teeth. So, there's that. I guess the message is to keep a positive attitude or distract yourself while you're in it. And then paired with the Bryonn Bain line, all that death can do is set you free, it also gives a feeling of that we have nothing to lose. Even when it's at its worst, we have nothing to lose, because death will set us free. So it's an interesting message that I'm pulling from it, from Pretty Little Song. Now, I remember back in 2009, this was probably the one I was most turned off by.
Really?
Yes. It just did not resonate with me. I just thought, what are we doing for 4 minutes here? Now, that was that initial listen that I never came back to, right? Until this record, as we are speaking to about it now. It just didn't resonate. It just felt like it went nowhere, and it brought back that memory, as music can do, right? We tend to connect memories to music, and it helps with recall. So I do remember being, most of the second half of this record, just being stymied by it. And so this one, it's swampy. It's got its charms. As far as coming back to it again, I don't know, maybe not, but I think I have more of an appreciation for it, because I think by this time in the record, on that initial listen, I was already turned off. So I was every track beyond maybe the halfway point, I was already kind of hunched over, rolling my eyes, and not too into it at that point. So I wasn't giving the back half of a record a fair listen for sure. Where do you stand on this one?
It's one of the songs on the record that I enjoy more than others, actually.
Do tell.
I love the bass line, the envelope filter, of course, and the cello. I think musically it's a really compelling number.
So where would we do not task ourselves with ranking the tracks on a record because it's largely pointless, but in your hypothetical, would this make it to the top half of the record in your estimation?
So if I had to choose a top five, I would go with Prime by 29, of course. Amanitas would also make the cut. Pretty Little Song would also be in there. And for the other two slots, I guess Roscoe, because I think it's also a really strong track. And then I'm kind of torn because, I mean, Mushroom Man is great, but Errol is also good. Yeah, that could be up in the air, but Pretty Little Song, yeah, it makes the cut for sure.
Fascinating. I don't do a very good Nimoy. Well, we've talked about it enough. Let's hear what the primates have to say. If you would like to engage in the discussion about today's track or any future track, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/Primus Tracks. The constant reward is Primates Takes, among the many tiers of support for Josh and Frankie. Frankie, we have a few Primates Takes on Pretty Little Song. Mickey Waters says, I'd say this is more like an unsettling little song. I'm just now thinking this, but this song is almost a companion piece to Primed by 29. It's like the aftermath of the excess that people do in their teens and 20s. I'm not an interpretation expert. I'll leave that up to you guys. Also, there's a sample of the cult leader in Pig Hut chanting, "All that death can do is set you free." So dark and ominous. Mickey gave us a couple things to chew on there, Frankie. It is indeed a sample from Pig Hunt. I don't know that I specified that. But a companion piece to Prime by 29. What do you think?
Yeah, so that reminds me that Bite Out of Life is another song that I like. So that would be my number 5. Bite Out of Life. So this is interesting because I said that Prime by 29 was the companion piece to Bite Out of Life. So Prime is the aftermath of Bite. And now the new theory is that Pretty Little Song is the aftermath of Prime by 29.
I suppose so.
So we have a trilogy on the record.
We have an unofficial trilogy.
Yes.
At our very feet. So our anonymous protagonist takes a bite out of life, but in Prime by 29 is not thrilled by it, takes it to excess, and now we're in the...
And now he's got kidney stones.
Now he's got kidney stones in his crotch itches, yes. Because as a result, I suppose, of those excesses and taking those drugs to get a better experience.
Yes.
So he's just got to sing that pretty little song to himself, maybe while he's going through withdrawals and drying out. You never know. I would buy that as a trilogy. I would say it largely follows. I don't know if that was intended by any means, but we can claim it. Thank you, Mickey. I like that.
Thank you, Mickey.
Eric in Australia, who is probably saddened that we are careening towards the final track of this record, says, "Horrendously delightful. I love them psych ward lamentations in the background. Stiff upper lip, Jeeves." Nice reference. The psych ward lamentations is a great interpretation. I wrote in my notes wailing and gnashing of teeth, but yes, these are people who are suffering one way or another. And I do love that the percussion toys that Les is banging on sound like instruments of torture to pair with them. So Eric and I think, are on the same page there. And our pal John Shreve says, "This is the Primus version of Monty Python's Always Look on the Bright Side of Life from Life of Brian. Dark, but humming of trying to be positive. This song specifically reminds me of coming out of surgery, wondering why pain meds weren't working." What a connection. John Shreve always comes with the good stuff. The connection to Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, I'm buying that lock, stock, and smoke and barrel, because that is absolutely a parallel. You're familiar with that one, right, Frankie?
Yes.
Great song. Life's a piece of shit when you look at it. Love that line always. So yeah, life sucks, but we can look on the bright side. And of course, the guys singing it and whistling along are being crucified in the movie. So they're really in it at that point. I think I'd rather have gallstones than experience what they are, but they're just singing "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life." Life of Brian I haven't seen in a while. I think I'm due. A great connection, John Shreve. As we know, Les is a huge Monty Python fan and a fan of British humor, especially the dark stuff and the lewd stuff from over the years. So I think, and of course we have a photo of him with Eric Idle, Puddles, Weird Al Yankovic. I can't remember who else was in the photo. A couple of big time producers, I think. So really cool that he's making that connection. I also just saw a post by Kevin Nealon, the comedian and actor who went to a house. I'll give you the short version. He said, I went to visit someone at this house, and I recognized it. It's the house I lived in with Dana Carvey in our early days in L.A. And who eventually bought the house? Eric Idle. So he's hanging with Eric Idle at a house he lived in, 30 years prior when he was just cutting his teeth in L.A. Pretty funny. And that's it for Primates Takes. Thank you for your takes, Primates. Frankie, do we have live cuts of Pretty Little Song?
0.
Sad face. But I bring you good news, Frankie. We have a second track to talk about. It's the title
Yes.
track of Fungi and Foe. It's track 11. There goes the notebook page of your Fungi and Foe record, and it is indeed the title track. It is 1 minute and 52 seconds. Based on our credits, Les Claytool does everything on this track. It's all him. This one I really appreciate for its brevity, Frankie.
Yes, it's interesting how the title track of a record would be so brief. Usually, the title track tends to be the centerpiece of the album, but in this case, I would classify it as a palate cleanser and not much more.
It is interesting that it's the shortest track. It's the penultimate track, so it's somewhat buried on the record. But I think that it gives us a taste of what we're going to get on the record at the end of the record. So yes, this is the back off turkey, right?
Exactly.
Of this record, but it's track 11 as opposed to track 1. If somebody coming to this record for the first time, and by the way, if you're listening to this episode and you haven't heard this record, what the hell are you doing? Good for you, I guess. But I would recommend to somebody coming to this record for the first time to listen to track 11 so they know what they're going to get. Because I think it certainly represents the fungi aspect of things, the foe aspect of things, and the instrumentation aspect of things. Yeah.
The overall sound of the record.
Absolutely. To its credit, it's nice and short, and I do think that there are a couple other tracks on this record that could benefit from that level of brevity. But it's also cleverly placed, Frankie, between a faux track, Pretty Little Song, and a fungi track, Old Roscoe, because that Old Roscoe was initially written for the Mushroom Men soundtrack.
Okay.
So pretty clever to slot him in between those two tracks. It's just a fun little guy. I'm actually going to play my favorite part because it builds to this crescendo at about 1 minute and 23 seconds. And at this point in the tune, everything that you've heard before it is all coming together to provide you this. It's atonal, it's driving, it's syncopated, it's cool. Now, if more of the record sounded like that, with that level of intensity, I think I would have had a rosier outlook on it then and now. So we get bits and pieces of that throughout the record, but that's really fun. And as an interstitial, we don't say a lot about them because they're sort of there. You know, we use the term palate cleanser. We use the term transition. There's not much to talk about lyrically because he just says a fungi and foe a few times, right? And then, but we're in and we're out, and it's a soundscape. But I think that is what's representative of this record because he's creating soundscapes for a video game, for a film, and working his creativity into the vision or for the vision of others. And I think that's what sets this record apart as well. It was to match somebody else's visual element. So they're inextricably linked in my mind. These don't stand alone on their own because of those connections. Now, there are some tracks that do stand alone, like Red State Girl's its own thing. I think we identified a couple others. But the ones that are in the film and in the video game, I cannot pull them apart. I just keep that idea in my head that this song was written for something else. And then it was either verbatim put on the record or gussied up for the record.
I will echo everything that you said. I think it perfectly encapsulates the mood, the atmosphere, and the sound of the record. And it's very cleverly placed on the album.
Indeed. So I will reiterate my warning to you. If you have a friend who wants to experiment with Fungi and Foe, first of all, make sure they're in a safe place. And second of all, tell them to listen to track 11 first. They'll thank you later. I guess that's all we have for Pretty Little Song and the title track, Frankie. So I'll say this. Pretty Little Song, I've got a new song for you. It's called You've Been Tracked. And of Fungi and Foe, you are what you are. That's what I appreciate about you. Primates, primatrons, people of Earth, people of fungi, people of foe. Thank you all so much for listening. Next time, Frankie, have you seen old Roscoe?
He likes to drive when he drinks.
Jerk. We'll talk about him next time. Later days.
Willie Mace.